So, relating this to the drawing that I did on the board over there. This is my in-feed table, this is my out-feed table, and in between the two is my blade that sticks out. There's a difference of a 1/16 of an inch between this table, and that's the amount of wood that it's going to be taking off for each pass on here. On the joiner, we can do the face, either face, or the edge. We never do the end grain. You will never hold the board like this. Okay, you'll have it down or on its edge. The joiner might be the machine that I am most concerned about with safety. My greatest concern would be that someone would put the board here, come up and try to push the board through the blade like this, with their hands on the board like this. We always try to maintain about 4 inches between our hands and the board that we're using here. So I would be able to, so it's higher than this, higher than the fence. That means that my hands are well away from the blade and I'd be able to put this through on its edge. If I'm doing the first step, this squaring across of the joiner, I'm doing the face and I have to use a push stick. The push stick has a cleat on the back here that pushes against the end of this, and that runs the board through. The face is the first step. So we have to determine which face we're going to do. This board had the cup, right? If you recall, it has the cup that sits kind of like this. So if we turn it this way, our cup's like this, and our board can rock back and forth like a bowl, like a boat, like the hull of a boat. If we have it like this, that's the more stable setting to have this at. So always have it so that the concave side is down and the convex side is up. Okay. Whenever you're doing the face, you're using a push stick, period. This machine also has a dust collector attached to it. So we're turning on the dust collection once I get started here. The joiner is capable of doing, this joiner is capable of doing 10 inches. So I have a fence on here that I can reduce the width of my blade, and I can bring it all the way out to its full 10 inches. I don't need all 10 inches on this, so I'm going to bring it in. And I'll lock that there. Okay. We're going to be doing the bottom of this, that concave side, and I'm going to get a marker and turn on the vacuum cleaner. In the meantime, you can come and take a look at the blades on here. On the right track. So those blades are carbide blades, about a 1/2 inch by a 1/2 inch. This is the vacuum system. And I bring the marker because I want you to see what gets removed in each pass that we put on here. So I'm going to put some hash marks on this. And all the parts that are in contact with the table right now are the first to go. Glass are on, we don't have anything hanging on us being caught on any parts of the machine that we go through. Turn on the machine. 2 hands on the push stick. And we walk through that, we're pulling it through. I do not want to see screws leaning over top of where that blade was. If something were to happen and part of you touch those blades, it would be a bad thing. So walk past it and bring it through. So you can see what I've cut off. I take a little bit off this side, a little bit off that side. So with every pass, it's going to be a little bit more resistance to us pushing it through because we're taking off a little bit more material. So that's 3 passes, and we still have a fair amount to go. This board had some got some warps to it that we have to get out. We need to have a flat surface that when we put pressure onto it, it's not going to be able to push this down into the hollow in the center of this board here. So we have to have material, I think, being flat. So we still want to go through one more time because we still have a void underneath that board there. At this point, I'm pretty happy with the flatness of that. That's not enough to be able to compress down the middle there. There's not enough board there. So that looks pretty good. We're going to back off. I'll keep talking here. Some rules in using this. Number one, we do the face first. First thing we come to the joint we do, because then when we put it up against the fence, we have a flat reference here to put against a flat fence, and that'll give us a perfect 90-degree angle on the corner here, assuming that we have a 90-degree angle here. And I check that once a week to make sure it still is 90 degrees. If we were to put the rough side against the fence, then I have all this play that I can't guarantee that the corner is going to be a 90-degree angle, so it has to be that side that we flat play. The boards that we put through here have to be 12 inches in length at least. Okay, that is the shortest board that we can go through the joiner with. The other thing is that we cannot take off on a face more than 1/16 of an inch. That means that's dictated by in-feed table and out-feed table, or a 16th of an inch offset from one another. So the blade, even with the out-feed table, is only going to take off a 16th of an inch. We never do end grain on here. We always use a push stick. The only case where we would not use a push stick is if we're doing an edge of a board that's wider than the height of the fence. Remember, this is width. So when I put that up there, if this board is higher than that, then we don't have to do the push stick. If I was joining an edge on a board like this, that board on edge is not wider than the height of that fence. I would grab a push stick from the countertop behind me here. This is an edge push stick. That would go on, and I'd be able to hold my hands over top and bring the board through. That keeps my hands well away from that blade. It's happened that the board going through sticks, it's caught on that backside of that opening there, for whatever reason. Maybe it's tilted going through. You never reach for the board. So if I have the board going through here, and it's stuck right there, worst case scenario would be that while the machine's running, you go to pull that board back out. By grabbing it here and pulling it back from that front side. Remember, that's where the blade is. If the board stops, hold your hands on the push stick, turn the machine off. Okay, wait for everything to stop, and then back here, pull it out. Back away from where the blade is. To do the edge, I'll look at my grain, and here my grain goes off that way, and then off that way. So in this side here, there's not really a better direction to go through with. So I'm just going to go through at a slow rate so I get a good cut on this. So if everything is tuned properly, what this machine does is give you a flat face and a flat edge, which are 90 degrees to one another. And that's the first step to squaring a board.